Beginning several days of extensive debate, yesterday the Texas House brought the budget battle to the House floor. The first order of business was HB 4, intended to address funding for the remainder of the current budget cycle. Next up was HB 275, which taps $3.2 billion of the state's rainy day fund to address spending for the remainder of fiscal 2011. While the legislature does have a substantial challenge in balancing the budget this year, the numbers are not nearly as severe as the $27 billion gap that has been widely reported. According to the State Comptroller's Office, the actual shortfall is in the area of $15 to $16 billion. After addressing spending of the current budget cycle, $3 or $4 billion shortfall, state lawmakers will now need to reduce spending an additional $10 to $12 billion to balance the budget in the next biennium cycle. While Republicans were swept into office with a mandate to balance the state's budget without raising taxes, there are serious issues to be addressed, such as public education and health care. Yesterday, we caught up with Texas Conservative Coalition President Representative Wayne Christian as he addressed the issue of funding for public education.
In all the 15 years I've been here, public education is always the #1 expenditure of general revenue in the state of Texas. We actually increased the percentage of the budget of general revenue to 4.3% in this House Bill 1. Now, House Bill 1, of course, that gets implemented tomorrow and later in the week. We'll be debating a lot and may be able to increase that farther. You won't see any additional cuts. So for those that don't think that we in Texas put education first, just look at the figures. 42% of the budget is public education, the #1 expenditure of this administration and legislation.
In an earlier interview with State Senator Dan Patrick, he responded to rhetoric that the Republican-led legislature is ignoring basic funding needs.
We're not broke. We have lots of money. We're going to have a huge budget because we're the second largest state. We have plenty of money to take care of 4 groups of people. Our seniors who are in need, who have no family to take care of them. Our children, because children should not be held responsible because they have irresponsible or idiotic parents, and sadly, many do. Take care of our veterans when they come home, whether they're mentally or physically wounded, and take care of the disabled.
Come back and join us for more coverage on what promises to be a historic 82nd legislative session. For Texas Insider, this is George Scaggs.